What's up, YouTube? So you just bought your first pistol, or maybe you're thinking about it. Either way, this video is for you. I'm going to walk through some of the basic parts of a pistol, talk about what to expect for your first time shooting, and a few tips that's helped me get started without feeling overwhelmed, because I know this can be intimidating at times. This is just going to be real advice from one beginner to another, so let's get into it. Alrighty, y'all, let's break down the basic parts of a pistol, because knowing your tool is half the battle. So first and foremost, you have the slide. The slide is the top part of the pistol. It moves back and forth every time you fire. It ejects the used casing and loads the next round. Usually when you see a slide lock open like this, that means that you have no more ammo in your magazine, and we'll get to that later. Next up, we have the barrel. So the barrel is this little hole right when you look in there, but it's going to be this metal piece. This is your slide, and this will be the barrel. So the barrel is where the bullet travels through. So enter through here, and it'll travel out the end, and that's going to be the front of the pistol. That is why it's very important to practice safety and make sure that this pistol is pointed always in a safe direction. Next up, we have the frame. So the frame will be inside, and it'll look like this. So you have your frame of your pistol, and this is usually where everything is connected to. I consider this the foundation. So you have your slide stop here. You have your takedown lever here. You have your trigger. And you also have your magazine release button. So same thing here, you have the slide stop, takedown lever, trigger, and magazine release button. So that's going to be the frame of the pistol. Then you have the grip of the pistol. So the grip will be here, right? So this is where you hold the pistol. Always good to practice a good grip. For me, I like to make sure that my strong hand, so I'm a righty, is gripping. Make sure that there's no gap in between the beaver tail, the back of the pistol, and your hand. So you want to make sure you fill that gap. Make sure your finger is not on the trigger, so I leave it off to the side. And I put my palm in this area here. I put the meaty side into that and make sure that I have a good grip, because recoil is a thing, but it is manageable with practice and time in the range. Of course, we have the trigger. So the trigger is the part of the weapon that makes the gun fire. So again, safety first. Make sure that you never have your finger on the trigger when carrying your weapon or maneuvering your weapon. You want to make sure that this area is clear of your finger until you are ready to use your pistol. The trigger is inside of the trigger guard, right? So this is this loop area here, and it protects the trigger from you accidentally bumping into it, or when you're gripping it that you don't pull the trigger, right? So this is your trigger guard. Next, you have a magazine. So a magazine is this thing right here, and there's multiple different types of magazines, right? And the magazine holds your bullets. So usually you can have anywhere, most commonly you'll see stuff 10 to 18, but it really just depends on your gun, right? So this one right here is a 15 round mag, while this one here is a 15 round mag as well, but this extended plate allows me to put 3 more. So in total, this magazine holds 18 rounds. Backtracking to the magazine release. So it's that button that I showed you that's on the grip. And usually when your magazine is seated into your gun, it's usually flush. But if you want to take this magazine out because you ran empty, or you just want to remove it for safety concerns, if you press the button, it will release the magazine. Not all guns have external safeties. There are models that will have an external safety lever. On my pistols, I do not have anything external. Everything will be built into the gun. I would say to make sure you do research on the pistol that you're purchasing beforehand as well, just so you're aware. But this here has no external safety, and the safety will be a part of the trigger. So you see this extra piece that sits outside of the trigger. If I try to press the trigger without pressing that piece, the trigger won't fire. But if I do press this down and I pull the trigger, now you'll see it breaks. So that is the safety feature for this pistol. Again, I would definitely advise to make sure you research the type of pistol that you are planning on getting, and if it has an external, usually externals will sit up here, or if you have a built-in safety. Lastly, we have the slide stop and the takedown lever. So the lever locks the slide open after the last round is fired. So if I put this empty magazine in, right, to simulate a empty mag, and you try to lock this back, it's going to automatically lock because the magazine is empty. So that is the slide lock. This also, you can push it up manually to lock the slide yourself, and then you push this slide back, you let it go, and it'll come down. So that will automatically happen once there's no bullets left in your magazine. So that might seem like a lot, but once you handle your pistol a few times with practice, it all becomes second nature. Just remember to understand what each part does before you worry about how to shoot. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and stay tuned for some more range POV videos. Catch you later.